Subscribe, hype, like, and donate with a super thanks donation in the comments section below for the unfiltered, unapologetic SeanzViewEnt, your home for WWE news, rumors, and backstage chaos. This is where gossip gets exposed around the clock. Now, here's your host, the brash SeanzViewEnt.
Breaking news right at the top of the video, because it was on this time yesterday that the WWE released over 20-something elite WWE stars. I'm talking about superstars that could have been Intercontinental Champion. I'm talking about superstars that could have been WWE Women's Champion. I'm talking about stars that could have been at the forefront of your company, all released 20-something. But ladies and gentlemen, we got some breaking news right now, right here on the Viper. Randy Orton. It has been 24 years since Randy Orton made his WWE debut. Yes, 24 years in the making for Randy Orton, if you can believe that, ladies and gentlemen. That is making the rounds online according to the dirt sheets, the websites, and the newsletters. As a matter of fact, it is history. It is fact-making right here and right now. Now, let me tell you something. With all the releases that went down, there is also something trending online, and we got a major update as it concerns those releases. We want Kairi trends as fans demand WWE bring back Kairi Sane after her release from WWE just hours before SmackDown went on the air on Friday night on the USA Network last night. Yes, the fans are raging. There is backlash. Now remember, these same fans are the same fans that brought back R-Truth when R-Truth was released from the WWE. And we remember all the bedlam and the backlash. We remember all the criticism that went down at that stage of the game. And then ultimately the WWE had no other choice but to bring back R-Truth to the company. Also, AEW star shuts down possibility of Aleister Black returning after his release from the WWE. And now we're talking about wrestlers who are legit peed off, at least about as mad as you can get. And there are still WWE stars that are walking on eggshells due to these releases that happened yesterday, days after WrestleMania, hours before SmackDown. But that's not all, because we are now receiving word that Asuka is reacting to Kairi Sane's WWE release with an emotional message online. Now, I said this yesterday, and I'm going to say it again. I might even said it earlier today. With all those releases, you could literally, if you're a millionaire, if I was a millionaire, I would take all those wrestlers that were just released and I would build them as my building blocks for a new wrestling promotion. I would literally make a new wrestling company with all those released wrestlers that went down yesterday, because nobody's seen it coming. I would actually come up with an angle. I would come up with a storyline. I would come up with the characters for them. I would bring them to the next level. Also, Wyatt Sicks member Dexter Lumis is commenting on his release from the WWE. Because now, ladies and gentlemen, what it is, it's 24 hours later. It's the backlash, okay? It's the fallout from World Wrestling Entertainment and all these releases. Now, when you go back and you sit back and you say, well, Sean, what about the game Triple H? What about the man that orchestrated it all with TKO? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into that right now, because according to those in the know, it's Triple H being axed. That's A-X-E-D. Okay, I'm talking Triple H getting the axe. It's Triple H out of WWE along with all the WWE superstars. Now, wouldn't that be something else? You want to talk about a turn of events. Well, ladies and gentlemen, according to the dirt sheets, the websites, and the newsletters, it would appear as if it is actually TKO that is effectively calling the shots, the storylines, the angles, and all that. And Triple H doesn't really have a say. So, in other words, it would appear as if, it would seem as if the game Triple H is finding himself out and TKO is actually in, because Triple H doesn't really have a hell of a lot of say these days, as much as TKO has the strength and the say. As a matter of fact, we're going to pull this up right now, guys, because as we all know, we do all news and rumors in real time to give you the hottest, the latest, the greatest. Now, I want to bring up to this. We know the confirmed list, okay? Now, I just want to say in the video I did before this one, I said there was rumored releases. Rumored, meaning it wasn't confirmed. If you don't know what rumors and gossip means, you're going to want to go look it up. If you don't know what speculation means, I want you to take out your dictionary, your thesaurus. I want you to Google it, Yahoo it. I want you to ask your mom, your friend, your girlfriend, your boyfriends. I want you to ask Jeeves. I want you to know rumors and gossip. I said there was rumored names that could be next. Bronson Reed was one of them, Danhausen, but I said that's probably not going to happen. However, due to his disastrous debut, if it would have stood like that and stayed like that, yes, Danhausen probably would have been released along with Bronson Reed, because we all know that Bronson Reed is injury prone, as he's had several injuries in the WWE over the last few years. So that would be a reason to want to get released Bronson Reed. So again, that was rumored names. That is not confirmed at this stage of the game. I want to make that known right now. Also, Kairi Sane breaks her silence following her release from the WWE. And again, I want to know from my viewers, my fans, and my subscribers, and my channel members, remember to become a channel member today to help save and secure the future of this website, because without you, there is no Sean's View. What was to you, and I know it might be hard to just say, it was just this one or it was that one, but what was to you the most shocking? What was the most unexpected? What was the most stunning release to you? Was it Kairi Sane? Was it the entire Wyatt family? Alexa Bliss now pays tribute to Wyatt Sicks after WWE release. Now we got even more breaking news on the game Triple H. Kairi Sane's WWE release is already causing backlash, and now Triple H is right in the middle of it in a big way. Just one day after reports noted that Kairi Sane was parting ways with WWE's latest round of releases, Triple H dropped a standard promotional post on Twitter on April the 25, revealing a new Backlash poster featuring Roman Reigns front and center. Now, instead of hyping the show, fans immediately turned the replies into a reaction thread about the cuts, and Sane's name kept coming up. One fan didn't hold back, using the moment to vent frustration over WWE's recent decisions and calling out the handling of talent like Kairi Sane. F you, man. You are creatively bankrupt and you are just TKO's little bitch. Like, really releasing the best tag team on your roster because you don't care about tag team wrestling, and Kairi Sane just waiting for the day you get fired because it will come. Another reply shifted the focus to the growing list of releases, pushing for WWE leadership to reverse its course, bringing back several talents back into the fold. No one is watching this. Tell Ari to rehire Zelina, Kairi, and Black, MCMG, and Santos. Others pointed to Sane's recent booking, arguing that her release didn't line up with the direction that the WWE had been taking with her character. Firing Kairi after spending a whole year building her face turn, other fans started a "We Want Kairi" thread for good measure. And for some, the reaction was blunt, making it clear the release overshadowed anything WWE was trying to promote. After what you did to Kairi, we do not care. F you, Hunter. We want Kairi. And now there's even petitions being made calling for TKO to release Triple H, or for the game Triple H to step down, or for Triple H to be released from WWE. Ladies and gentlemen, if there gets enough backlash, if there gets enough criticism, if there gets enough memos, if the memo gets out there, if it spreads like wildfire, if there's enough petitions made to get Triple H removed and that he's not making the right decisions, he's not making the right choices, the calculations, the miscalculations, this is definitely a dark... Listen, I'm going to tell you what right now, coming out of WrestleMania. Coming out of WrestleMania, it should be all brights, lights, camera, action. It should be all smiles. Instead, it is a dark cloud over WWE, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a dark cloud hanging over that very company right now. And the WWE is very visible, but for all the wrong reasons. And can you blame the powers that be? But ladies and gentlemen, there are actually some people that are saying these releases should have happened months ago. Some saying that this should have happened a long time ago. But you know what? It's not just about if it was your favorite wrestler, or they were underutilized, or they were in catering, or they were flopping their thumbs, or they were just, backstage waiting for their name to be called. The fact of the matter is, a lot of these superstars, these gals and these guys that were released were a part of WWE programming over the last several weeks to the last several months. So yes, it was shocking. Yes, it was unexpected. Yes, nobody saw it coming. But now the call is being made for Triple H to be relieved of his duties, for Triple H to be released from World Wrestling Entertainment. Is that going to happen? Is that going to go down? Is that what you want to see? Who should replace Triple H? Who should be in the game spot? Who should be in the game's position? Viewers, we got plenty more to come. More releases, more news, more breaking news on the Brash and the Brazen, where we raise the bar on the hottest and latest in WWE. This is the dirt sheet that never sleeps. Subscribe.